What's up, guys and girls? Iceman here. Welcome to Meditations. So, have you ever tried to sell anything on Amazon? What they've been doing over the past couple years is this whole fair price thing, right? And it's sort of a guise over the underlining real issue, which is that the big manufacturers and companies don't want you to resell their stuff because it drives down the prices. The more of their shit you put on the market, used market, new market, the more availability there is of the product. So it just becomes a race to the bottom in terms of price when you fill the market with product. It drives the damn prices down. So what they do is they have that whole Fair Price Act thing is what it's called, right? Like they're being fair, where you can't price it at a certain point. You got to price it like low. And ultimately what that does is it gets a lot of people out of selling their products because businesses in general only work on a 5 or 10% profit margin, right? So if you force them to bring down the price on things, oftentimes they just can't do it. So they just go out of business. Or in this case, they just don't sell that product. So what that ends up doing is it brings the power back to the manufacturer. Like if we're talking about Nike, for example, or Disney, who do these things on Amazon. All the power goes back into the entity, right? And then they can price it whatever they want. So Nike shirts are still expensive, movies are still expensive, Disney memorabilia is still expensive, and all that shit, right? Something to keep in mind here. Another thing that's interesting is, so I had a buddy who was selling pot, right? Before it was legalized in my state. He was making about $14,000 a month, right? And I told him, I was like, well, are you sure you want this shit to be fully legalized? Because it was going to come up on the ballots in the coming months. He was like, oh, yeah. I was like, aren't you worried that's going to hurt your business? Like it's going to drive down the prices. And he said, oh, no. That's going to bring the prices up. And if anything, because more people are going to be buying it. And I was like, okay. I was like, the market's going to be saturated like hell with marijuana if anybody and their mom can grow it. So it's going to destroy your business is what I was thinking, but I didn't tell him that. I just told him I wouldn't do it. It's going to drive down the prices. So, of course, he voted for it and all that. And then I called him a couple months later to get some tinctures, right? Some CBD tinctures or whatever. And he said, oh, I'm not making it anymore. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I got out of that business. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it just wasn't even worth me doing anymore. It was so expensive to run it in general. And the price of what it was going for in general, the pot, it just tanked. So I had to get out. And I sold all my equipment and now I'm a pig farmer, which is some honest work. Holy shit. So he went from making 14 grand a month to trying to slaughter a damn pig. And imagine how that shit goes with all the regulation on that crap. The same thing with milk. You can't really buy the damn milk. They don't let us buy what we want with our own fucking money. So the government puts regulations on it. Then only a few people are in on it. And you got to buy like a share of the cow or some shit. So it's just very few have control of that market. And they can just keep those prices up. But of course, this video is about this whole... oh, we're going to prevent price gouging. It's another one of those words that they use, which is a guise over the reality, which is we want to centralize power because we're in bed with these global corporations who are in on the production of food. So they tell us, yeah, we're going to call it price gouging. And again, what that does is like it's a bandage on a problem where with the price gouging. Oh goddamn! I got something in my throat. Hold on. Oh, just kidding. So what that ends up doing is Just like the other thing, when you got companies that are working on 5 or 10% margins, when you say, well, you can't keep up with inflation with your prices, we're going to keep gas expensive as fuck, so the transportation, the manufacturing of goods, for maintenance and all that is going to keep going up. But we're going to force you to keep your prices on your product really low. So what that does, it's the same damn thing. A lot of people are going to get out of the business. You know what I mean? So there's going to be far less people trying to slaughter the cows. Aren't those fucking woke idiots trying to make that illegal too? Get rid of beef or whatever, and make us eat fucking bugs, you fucking retards. But you see what I'm saying? It's going to cause for a lot of entities to get out of the business because in general, the regulation, what it does is it causes the prices to go up. And deregulation, like what they did with marijuana, causes the prices to go down. So this whole thing, if enacted, when you say, okay, we're gonna force you to price your food low, regardless of the circumstance in terms of everything else, it's just going to cause all these entities to back out. So it's centralizing power again, where you have a few of these global entities that are in control of all the fucking food. And of course, these people are the same ones who are lobbying for these idiots who say this shit and who are going to write in this stuff into regulation. You know what I mean? So you're giving all the power to those motherfuckers. And which is why regulation in general is bad and it causes the prices to go up. And deregulation is good. In general, I mean, there are a lot of exceptions, but just when it comes to this food thing, which is an essential, of course, it's going to cause food rationing at the least, where they're only going to be able to distribute X amount of food per household because so many less motherfuckers are going to be able to make it or distribute it or produce it or whatever. So it's going to be a really, really big deal. And so, I mean, it's the socialist shit that turns into communism. And you could think that that's going to work. It's kind of like heroin. It's fun for a minute. Everybody has a good time. But then you realize you really fucked up and you all die. So that's kind of the problem here. But I mean, I'm preparing for it. I have a bunch of food stored away. I have a lot of boomsticks with a lot of boomstick supplies. Let me show you what. So when all those motherfuckers start coming, wanting something to eat or whatever, wanting to steal your shit, gouge your fucking eyes out, rape your wife or your wives, you got to have every single one of your wives having one of these things and know how to shoot it. Because the horde very well could be coming. The horde, if stuff like this continues and if this stuff gets enacted, food's going to be unavailable and people are going to get desperate. You saw what those fucking idiots did when they couldn't get their toilet paper. What sort of a barbarian uses toilet paper? You scrape paper against your ass and you think that's going to clean it, which is more fuel for the case that these are a bunch of barbarians and it's the horde, kind of like World of Warcraft, where the Alliance, which is what I played as, they had elegance and honor and a functioning system and civilization. They had laws and statutes, you know what I mean? But the horde, I mean, they're just a bunch of fucking ogres, you know what I mean? They just run around, tear shit apart, eat it, burn it, eat people alive, shit like that. So that's what's going to happen is the horde's going to come out if this stuff gets enacted to the point in which they want it to. And you could try to filter through the news and media and try to find their bullshit reasoning as to why, oh yeah, this is going to work. But that's just not how numbers work. They're going to do their best to tell you, oh, this is how the numbers work. But no, that's not how the numbers work. You can keep trusting the most rich entities in the world if you want to, because they own all the fucking media. There's about 6 global corporations that own nearly all of the media. It's about 98% of it. And I'm talking about entertainment, music, news, social media, the fucking internet itself is owned by some foreign entities. Central bank is all a part of this shit, where they took our money off the gold standards, so now it's just a bunch of fiat currency that they can just inflate as much as they fucking want. So you see what I'm saying? Be prepared, dog. But let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments below. And yeah, believe it or not, if they regulate beef more and they force companies to hit certain price points that are only making 5 or 10% profit margin, that's just going to cause a bunch of the companies to get out of the business, and it's going to cause shortages and food rationing. All right, so be prepared for that. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace be with you.